I'm here to introduce Lisa Nicole Bell, named a woman making a difference by Los Angeles Business Journal. Lisa Nicole Bell brings more than 10 years of relevant business experience to her role as the CEO of Inspired Life Media Group. Lisa and her team create media projects designed to move the social progress agenda forward. Partnering with brands like K-Swiss, Luna, and Bella Boo, Lisa is an international speaker, author, and contributor to the Business Beware television show, reaching more than 23 million homes. American Entertainment Magazine named Lisa a speaker to watch, and numerous outlets have honored her accomplishments. She holds a degree with honors in business law, and her work has been featured in dozens of media outlets, including the Huffington Post, Forbes Women, PBS, Under 30 CEO, Fox Small Business, and more. You can learn more about Lisa at www.lisanicolebell. I bring to you Lisa Nicole Bell. Thank you.
Are my mics hot? Can everyone hear me? Everyone can hear me. Good morning, everybody. First, I want to thank Katie and Michael for all of their hard work. Thank you for the invitation to be here. I'm really excited. I'm not going up there because you can all see me right here, right? Okay, so I don't have a ton of time, but we are going to have a little party during the time that I'm here. Lisa Nicole Bell, I am the founder and CEO of Inspired Life Media Group, where we create what we call media with a message. That means that all of our media is socially relevant. This past summer, we just wrapped up a DVD taping that we did in Hollywood at a sold-out show, and that was designed to help women to tell their stories and to help other women who read those stories. And now we're working on a docuseries and social action campaign designed to help millennials, people like you, start small businesses, because some of you know that the national unemployment rate is about 8% and declining, but the unemployment rate among people like you is about 15% and rising. So we looked at that and said, okay, what can we do to address this challenge? And one of the things that we're doing is helping people to look at entrepreneurship as a really viable option for starting and sustaining a career for themselves. So we've looked at all of the different challenges that millennials have, and sometimes I listen to people and they say, you know, Lisa, I'm a young entrepreneur, my biggest challenge is funding. I don't have any money. I need money. Do we all agree that we need money? Show of hands? Yes, we all need money to start and grow our businesses. Some people say, I don't have the right team. I don't know the right people in order to really grow my business. Other people say, I'm not really sure how to get the word out about what it is I'm doing. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because there are some cheap and easy ways that you can spread the word about what it is you're doing. Because here's the thing. 5 years ago, about half of the people in the world were getting their information online, right, on the internet. In 8 years, that number is going to be 80%. What that means is that you cannot afford to ignore the web. It means that you can't afford to ignore new technology, and it means that you can't afford to ignore the mobile space. So I'm here to give you some very clear and easy to follow advice on how to do that. Is that okay? Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. I know it's Saturday and it's early, but seriously, I flew in from LA, so I'm 2 hours earlier. So you guys got to be awake for us to do this, okay? Sound good? Yeah. Awesome. All right. So here's the thing. There's so much noise coming at your prospective customer that the challenge is really not whether your product is good enough, it's how are you going to get anyone to even know that it exists, right? There are marketing and advertising messages coming at us from everywhere. Where we're on Twitter, there's sponsored posts, and there's those little banner ads at the bottom, right? When we're on Facebook, there's our stream, and then there's advertising going down the side. You're flipping through your email, and you're like, oh my goodness, all this advertising. When you go to the store, on the back of the receipt, there's all these little ads. I scored a 90-point word on Words with Friends, and a pop-up for another app that had more advertising in it came up after I scored my word. There's advertising everywhere. So again, the question is not, well, how do I make the best product? How do I create the best team? How do I get enough money? There's no amount of money that can buy you the ability to cut through the noise. The only way you can really do that is through very clear, intelligent marketing and branding. So when we think about how we do this, right, there's so much noise, how do we cut through all of this clutter? We have to go back to our childhood, all the way back to preschool. So when I was a little, I still have some ADD tendencies, in case you haven't noticed. So when I was a little girl, I used to hate going to sleep with a passion. Hated it. My dad would be like, Lisa, it's bedtime. I'd be like, why does this happen every day? I always have to go to sleep. I don't want to. It was like drama when it was bedtime. He'd be like, it's bedtime. Like, okay, all right. I'm thirsty. Can I have some water? Okay, you can have some water. Now you need to go to sleep. Will you tell me a bedtime story? The first story I was ever told was the bedtime story. Then we get a little older, right? We start watching television. Why do we watch TV? Because we want to be entertained. We want to be told stories, right? When we look at the narrative of our lives, even when someone says, so tell me about you, tell me where you're from, we start to tell them a story because that is the social construct through which we get and give information. So then we become teenagers and we start going to the movies. Why? Because we want to be told stories. We want to see the story on a screen. We want to see the villain. We want to see all of these different things happen, and we want to sit back and watch. And then we start playing video games. By show of hands, how many people in this room play or have played a PlayStation? That looks about right. There's a lot of hands up if you look around. The reason is because the PlayStation is the most sold video game console in history. In history, right? Sony did something amazing. And what's interesting is that since 2000, more than 150 million PlayStation 2s have been sold. And since 2006, more than 63.9 million PlayStation 3s have been sold. So you think, wow, that's a lot of gaming. My goodness, that's a whole lot of video games being played. It is. But what makes it more remarkable is the fact that prior to Sony entering the personal video gaming space, there were two other companies that were dominating, Nintendo and Sega. How many people remember Nintendo and Sega? Show of hands. Yes, there were some people who had the Super Mario Brothers games, and there were some people that were playing Sega Genesis and all that kind of stuff. So we remember a time when there were other companies dominating this space, and we go, well, how was Sony able to get into this space? To find the answer to that question, we have to turn to a man by the name of Kaz Hirai. If you have not studied him, I would suggest you do so. He is a very savvy executive who can teach you a lot about how to build a successful business. Kaz Hirai is his name. He was the chairman of Sony Computer Entertainment, and he went to these developers and said, listen, guys, we've got great hardware, okay? So does Nintendo, so does Sega, right? We've got awesome graphics too. That's cute, but we need more. He said, we've got to start using stories. This is what he said to the developers. It's not enough anymore for us to have a one-dimensional, linear gaming experience. It's got to be something that's three-dimensional. You got to be in the game. You got to be able to go left, right, behind you, and forward. We got to infuse this entire game with story. When they started doing this, we went from having Super Mario Brothers, right? We're in the cart, we're going forward, all right? Yeah, who's got Doritos? Like, we're done. Okay, this was fun, but it's over, right? To having blockbuster films based on these movies, right? This is how we got Resident Evil. This is how we got Tomb Raider. It's a story. So this is how we're in a situation where we go, I was able to play the game, now I'm able to see the movie, now I'm able to get all this cool paraphernalia, t-shirts and posters and all this other stuff. So this gentleman simply used story in his product to take it to the next level. And we see other companies like Apple telling us these really great stories that resonate with us, and that's the reason that we decide that we want to patronize that brand over any other. So I'm going to give you 3 quick and easy ways that you can use story to captivate your customer, because at the end of the day, it's really not about your product. It really is about, can you cut through all the noise and clutter? Why am I going to choose you over anyone else? Because even the best products have to have the best marketing. Sometimes we go, why is this company so successful? Like, their stuff isn't even all that great. Have you ever been to a restaurant that was like super hyped up? Everybody's like, oh my goodness, you have to eat there. It's like the best ever. Like, it's sick, right? And then you go there and you're like, I'm kind of underwhelmed right now. Like, that was just okay. In many cases, it's because they have phenomenal marketing. So we can never, ever, ever underestimate the value and importance of the marketing. So the first thing you need if you are going to create an amazing story that captivates the heart and the mind of your target audience is Drama. Everybody say drama. You need drama. That's why we go to the movies, right? That's why we watch television. That's what we love about stories, is that they're dramatic. Our favorite actors are the ones who stop and stare and smolder because we want drama. And this is what you have to create for your target audience. Here's the thing. The stakes need to be as high as possible. Your target audience needs to know what's going to happen if they don't have your product or service. Are there any stakes involved in using you or not? I don't care if it's a vacuum cleaner or a bobby pin or it's thread to go in my socks. Is it important or not? If it's not important enough for you to create drama around it, you should stop doing it and find something else. I feel like my work is some of the most important work on the planet. You can't convince me otherwise. I feel like I'm saving the earth. Like in the morning, I feel like I'm in a movie trailer. I'm like brushing my teeth all dramatic. I'm like, I'm about to go out, about to make these movies, about to save the earth. Lisa, out, right? Like I'm super dramatic with it because it's important. Anything important is also dramatic. In the movies, what makes it so dramatic? Well, the whole earth might explode if he doesn't detonate the thing, right? The stakes have to be really high around whatever it is that you're doing. People have to understand why what you do matters. If I was to walk up to anyone in this room who has a business and I say, why does what you do matter? You should be able to tell me in 10 seconds or less. 10 seconds or less. Why does what you do matter? Which, I'm gonna get back to you, Lisa. Just give me a minute, I'll get back to you. No. You should be able to quickly articulate that because guess what? If you can't articulate that to me, you can't articulate it to your client. They have to be able to clearly understand that. Why? Because they have to be able to articulate that to someone else. We've all heard that the best marketing is word of mouth marketing. So how are you creating a tribe of evangelists? You do that by telling a very clear, dramatic story that other people can tell other people. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Awesome. The second thing you need is an obstacle, right? Every great drama has an obstacle. That's what creates the drama, is that we know our main character wants something, but there's something else in the way keeping that from happening. Show of hands, how many people have seen the movie The Hangover? Yes. Okay. Awesome movie, right? We can all agree that The Hangover was pretty awesome. So what we see is the drama of these guys are like, okay, we got to find this guy, we got to get him to the wedding, right? This whole thing that's going on. And what are some of the obstacles that we see happen in The Hangover? What's in the way? What is it? What is it? He doesn't remember what he did. A missing person. A baby. There's all kinds of different stuff that's in the way. So here's the thing. When we use the marketing speak, we say this is a pain point. We want to address the pain points of our prospective customer. And that's cute, and we do, but there's really just something in the way, right? If we want to be happy, and happy is different for everybody, what is it that's in the way of your prospective customer being happy, right? And how does your product or service solve that? Is it that they're overweight? And if they were to lose the weight, they would then be able to get to the other side and get to happiness? Is it that they don't have enough money and your product saves them money? Is it that they don't have enough time to spend with their kids and that would give them happiness? And if they just had something that could remove this thing that's in the way, then they could do that. So you got to frame it up in terms of obstacles. If you tell me that you're doing something that's amazing and our product really makes people happy, I'm going to be like, you're lying. Because there's no product that makes people happy. We're not buying a product, we're buying an outcome, right? So then what I want you to tell me is the problem that you're solving. I want you to tell me how you're moving that obstacle out of the way so that I can get to what it is that I want most. Does that make sense? Yeah. The third thing that you need is a hero. Every good story has a hero, right? Somebody that comes in and saves the day. This is why we love the superhero stories, because we're like, yes, we have so much faith in him. He's going to do it. He's going to make sure we don't all die. Right on, right? Every great story has a hero. In this case, we want the hero to be your customer. Why do we want the hero to be the customer? Well, a lot of times we buy things and we patronize specific services because we want to win, right? This is why we're like fist pumping. This is why we use terms like crush it and kill it when we talk about doing business, because we're competing. We want to be the hero. We want to win. Your customer wants to win too. a lot of times we're making buying decisions because we want to be perceived a certain way, okay? A lot of people, not going to say there are any in this room, but there are some people who are only buying Apple products because they're sexy. They're only buying those products because of what other people will believe about them if they're using that. It's the motivation for doing many of the things we do. There's money, there's sex, and there's recognition, okay? So your prospective customer wants to feel like they're winning. If they're the person who gets your particular product or service and everybody else goes, that was exactly what we needed. It's like, yeah, I was the one who thought of that. I'm the person who got it. So they get all of these cool kudos. So sometimes what we do is someone buys our product or service and we go, thanks, have a nice day. Boring. I'm like, okay, thanks, right? You go into 7-Eleven, they give you those little generic white bags that have a little smiley face that say, have a nice day. You're like, okay, I just bought gum. I guess this is all I get, right? But if you go to Apple, you spend $500 on the new, sleek, sexy product, you're like, I want a payoff, right? I want to feel like I was the first one who got it. One of my girlfriends brought the iPhone 5, and she calls me like, hey, yeah, I'm talking to you on the iPhone 5. I just went down and got it. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, okay. She wanted the clout of saying, I am one of the first people who have it. And you want to evoke that same feeling in your customer. Are they going to be one of the first people who get it? Are they going to want to tell other people that they got it? What are they going to receive by doing that? And it's not necessarily that the Apple product is superior. It's that we've been told a specific story or narrative around that product that we've all chosen to adapt. Because this is true of yourself, and it's also true of your business. People will adapt the belief that you have about yourself, and they will ingest and accept whatever it is you tell them about yourself. This is why online, when we see something that says click here, we're like, okay, I'm going to click right there because it says click here, right? We follow the instruction. So whatever it is that you're telling your prospect about your business is what they are going to adopt and believe. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, quick recap. The 3 things that you need to have in order to create a story that captivates your customer. Number 1 is drama. Everybody say drama. Number 2 is the obstacle. Everybody say obstacle. And number 3 is a hero. Everyone say hero. Hero. Those are the 3 things that you can use to create an amazing story in traditional and new marketing and take your business to heights you never imagined possible. I am Lisa Nicole Bell. I'm online at lisanicolebell.com. I'm on Twitter. Tweet me. I love to tweet. Lisa Nicole Bell. You guys have been amazing. I'd be happy to come to your campus and share more. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks, Lisa. How many of you had drama, obstacles, and heroes last night? You know, it's a really awesome way to look at business too, though, and it's so relevant. So thanks once again, Lisa. Thanks for sharing that of the marketing for us, and that was awesome. Guys, I want to bring up the next moderator, and we have another great speaker that's going to come up to the stage. This moderator, his name is Harris Roberts. Apparently, Harris knows everything. That's what I've been told. Just saying. He's from Bryant University. Let's give him a big round of applause.